So I had a little whoopsie. Some would call it premature optimization, but I prefer the term gold plating. It's basically spending an excessive amount of time polishing a feature too early in the game development process, and today we are just going to talk about that. But first, I go by Shinobi, and I like making games and YouTube videos. Normally my videos are more in-depth discussions about game-related topics in Unreal Engine, but we're trying something new today. I'm just going to keep it short, simple, and pretty informal. So I spent about a week working on a movement system because I really wanted to see how a movement system like the one in Tunic would feel in a third-person shooter. Just pure curiosity. But as I built out this movement system, it just didn't feel right. So of course I kept making small adjustments, then big adjustments, then tiny ones, endlessly. But the worst part is I just ended up with something that was almost identical to what I started with. Now obviously the biggest issue here is that this just consumes a ton of time for very little progress. But this also can lead to scope creep and burnout for a lot of people. So how am I preventing this going forward? First is just remembering time and place, right? There's a right time to sweat the small details, and early in the game development cycle just isn't it. Game dev and software dev in general is iterative. There will be another pass on these features that we develop early on. Early game dev should be more focused on defining the gameplay loop that's going to entice the player. But also, I rarely have a crystal clear definition of what I'm trying to create. That's with game development and on my 9 to 5. Early in the process, it's almost always a fuzzy target on a map that I'm going for. So it's hard to tell if the feature I'm implementing is meeting the requirements I've defined for myself. However, as I build and get closer to the goal, the vision always becomes more clear, and it gets way easier to determine if the changes I'm making contribute to the goal. So much stuff just gets redone later because it's easier to polish once you have a clear definition of what you're trying to make. So that's just something I need to be more mindful of. Second is just organizing around priorities, right? An easy way to do this is to sort tasks into must-have, should-have, and nice-to-have. And if a thing I'm doing isn't a must-have, I'll just shelve it and move on to something that is a must-have. You can pretty easily set that up in a Kanban board too. So that's going to do it for this week's video. As always, I hope something here was valuable to you in your game dev endeavors. If you like this type of video, send me the signals. Comment below, tell me how your projects are going on, because I'd love to hear about it. Peace, fam.